I'll protect you, my lady.
I don't know. You don't look so tough either. Perhaps you can give me a demonstration of your abilities.
Hi. How's that?
Not bad, not bad. I suppose you'll do. I thought you'd never get up. Did Jasper tell you I wanted to speak to you?
Yes. Did something happen?
I'm not sure, but everyone in the castle seems to be upset with your brother. More than usual. And it's even worse down in the city. You hear such terrible stories. Listen, they say a factory worker was executed this morning. I'm sure it's only a rumor, but you can imagine how people are talking. The staff in the castle are anxious. I told them you'd speak to them. Will you do that? I'm afraid of what might happen if someone doesn't calm things down.
If you think it will help.
I do. They may fear the king, but they still care for their prince. So, my good prince, will you take my hand and escort me to the castle? Everyone's Good. Now let's go. I can't believe your brother could have had a worker executed. But sometimes I think, well, that there's something wrong with him. He's changed so much. And he looks so tired all the time.
Ah, my lord.
I told Sir Walter about the speech. He'll be there to support you. I don't know what this place would be like without him. I'm sure he'll want to continue with your instruction today. He seems obsessed with combat training lately.
Welcome, your majesty. Such an honor to have you here today. The staff are convened to hear your words. Whenever you're ready.
Honestly, I was planning to do a cruel playthrough for this one, but I lost so much of my footage from my first playthrough, or it's just kind of like corrupted and unusable. Half of it's good, half of it's not. That I'm just gonna do a regular playthrough. I'm not gonna try to be all cruel. I'm gonna make some decisions that seem fun instead of just going all one way and all the other. But like yelling at the kitchen doesn't really seem like it's worth it.
You didn't shout, you didn't threaten, and you were far too reasonable. It was bloody marvelous. Right then, ready for today's training?
Plus,
Take good care of him, Walter.
Walter, you know, I like a little praise for my
I suppose
my
you've
nice
heard
little
the
men.
rumors then.
That's not weird.
Well, I'm afraid they're quite true. Who knows what your brother will do next?
There we go. Lost my viewer. Let's go.
In the meantime, the mood in the castle is getting more uneasy by the day. I think you have a knack for reaching out to people. They all looked up to you back there. The way they look up to a leader. A lot of people to see your brother today. Poor sods.
Sir Walter, what a stroke of luck. Would you be so kind as to sign my petition? We must fight to eradicate poverty in Albion. Too many suffer on our streets, and the king does nothing. He must be made to care.
Oh, very well, but I'm just an old soldier. I doubt my name would mean anything. But perhaps the prince here would care to help you out.
Oh, that would be wonderful, Your Majesty. Well, it would be the greatest honor.
Have you seen his elite soldiers? I'm not even supposed to be hiding under those masks. I was nowhere near that car.
I'd be happy to sign.
Thank you, my good prince. Your support will make all the difference, I'm certain of it.
Why do they have to make us all wait here like this? It's not right.
That was a courageous move. I doubt it would make much of a difference, but perhaps your brother will finally realize that you have a mind of your own. Let's see you put it to good use in the combat room. Come on! You have made good progress these past few weeks. But today isn't about
On behalf
practice.
of all the poor people of this city,
I want you to
I
fight
thank you
me
again.
as if your life depended on it. One day, the people of Albion are going to need you. I have to find out just how ready you are.
About today.
Your support will make those poor souls out there very happy.
All right. Grab a sword. Fight! Again. Do you remember the stories I tell you when you were a child? Of your father, the great hero king. You'd never get tired of hearing those stories. And after each one, do you remember what you would say?
Teach me how to be a hero.
Every single time. I wish that was something an old soldier like me could teach you. But I've done my best. Now I need you to do your best. Strike me! Strike me now! Don't use the sword. Let it strike of its own will. You can do better than that. Concentrate. You're holding back.
Audio's
I
not
want
bad.
you to mean it. Come on, is that all you've got? I know you have it in you. Do it. What are you afraid of? Hit me. Don't think of me as Walter. Think of me as an enemy. Strike! Ha-ha! You only went and broke it. Look at that. Am I a great teacher or what? But listen, there's something...
Walter! You have to come quickly! Both of you!
What's happened?
Outside the castle. It looks like a demonstration.
This is not good.
Alright, sorry. I'm not... After playing, like, Dragon Age for the past few days, I'm not having fun with this so far. Not to say that game's perfect, but
so many people out
yeah, they're very similar action adventure RPG games where where it's not really about the RPG elements, but the combat here feels so fucking bad, man. Everything looks like shit.
It's been a long time since Logan listened to me, but I should find him. Stay here. There's still something we need to talk about.
We can't just stand here. I have a horrible feeling about this. We need to do something. Look, the guards have moved away from the stairs. We should follow Walter, find out what Logan's going to do. Let's go while we can.
If you watch my Fable 2 video, the first thing I noticed when I started playing this after starting Fable 2, or after beating Fable 2, was, man, this game looks worse. Like, the environments legitimately look worse. This looks fine. The castle itself, I think they had a little more time to put some care into it. But this one looks terrible.
Quick! You can see them.
Think about what you're doing, Logan.
I'm protecting the interests of the people. Do not question me again. You will shoot to kill. Start with the ringleaders, and if necessary, continue with the crowd.
This is wrong. You can't do this.
Oh! Never tell me what I can't do.
Walter! We can't let him kill all those people. You're his brother. Maybe he'll listen to you. We have to do something.
What are you doing here? The war room is no place for a child. Leave now. I'm here to stop you. You can't kill those people.
No, wait. Enough!
How dare you turn against me? Perhaps you believe you should be the one making these decisions. You really wish to defend those traitors? Then so be it. Let us see how you do. Take my brother and his friend to the throne room. We shall settle this matter officially.
Yes.
Move!
I'm going.
Leave her alone!
I'm alright, I'm alright.
Don't worry.
Time for the infamous kill your girlfriend choice.
Keep walking!
Here come the saviors of the people. Come closer, brother. Today you have disappointed me beyond measure. I have been betrayed by my own blood and a filthy spine.
We did nothing wrong.
Punishment must be apportioned where it belongs.
Punish me, then.
You are no longer a child, and it is time I stopped treating you as one. You wish to save the traitors who had gathered outside the castle this morning. Very well. You shall have your chance to save
One thing I'm noticing on this replay is, man, Michael Fassbender, he's not good at this shit.
Who will be punished? These strangers? Or this girl? The sentence will be death.
No, this can't be.
You are the prince. Decide.
Your Majesty, Logan.
Like, he is straight up the worst voice actor here.
Power over life and death.
No, I
But
won't
maybe
do
the best
this.
actor here,
If you
but not the best
can't
voice
choose,
actor.
I will. They will all be executed. So tell me, what are you willing to sacrifice to do the right thing?
This is madness. We can't.
All right,
we just can't.
the one viewer that's in here.
Choose me.
Should I kill the girl
let
or
them die.
kill the
Choose
protesters?
me.
It's up to you. Fate's in your hand.
There's only one decision you can make.
Otherwise,
It
I'm
has to be
executing the
me.
protesters.
Are you listening to me? Pick me.
I don't want to die. I don't want to die.
Please.
This can't be happening. It can't be.
Oh
Still
shit, I
having
forgot he
trouble
makes the
deciding?
choice for you.
Let me help you. I will give you until the count of 5.
Choose me. They didn't do anything. It should be me.
5. 4.
Wow, you guys are fucked up.
3.
I know this isn't easy.
2.
But you have to choose. Thank you. Thank you. It's all right. You did what you had to do. Now,
Honestly, the only reason I never kill her is because
And
she's
that
one of
I
the
love
few,
you.
like,
Take the girl
unique
away.
NPC
Kill her
wives you
now.
could have.
I will never forgive you for this.
Good. Then you will never forget it. Escort my brother to his chambers. Now.
I wish Michael Fassbender would do, like, a game now that... A different game now, you know? I don't know why they had him here for that. Yeah, I suppose. But then you get into
mustn't
like the
blame
trolley
yourself,
problem
sir. I don't
philosophy.
think any of us realized just how far he'd fallen.
And it's not even the same type of choice as the trolley problem. You're just put in that situation not by wandering onto the train tracks. You're just fucking.
This kingdom needs nothing
your
less
brother's
than
just a
revolution.
dickhead.
It needs a new leader. It needs a hero. It's time to see if you're ready.
Ready for what?
To be your father's son.
You know, Pat.
Very good. I will pack
I
some.
don't know if that's true.
There's no time.
I need some
We take
evidence on
nothing.
that one.
Not even pajamas.
Come on. We must leave now.
All right.
Don't worry, sir. I shall follow you.
Man,
wherever fate leads us.
I should have done something in the throne room.
I wish I didn't lose all the footage.
Or he would have accompanied
But I'm gonna like rewrite half the script for this video just because I'm doing another playthrough. I might as
Maybe
well
I should
see
have
what
taken you away
what
sooner.
different things I notice
There's
on,
something
you know,
rather
well, I guess a second and a half playthrough.
Where are we going? I thought we were leaving the castle.
We are. But there's something we must do first. It's time we paid our respects to Albion's last hero.
I never thought I'd enter this place again.
You should have known better.
But
The
how we
night
doing,
your
guys?
father died,
We
I promised
chilling?
him I would bring you here one day. When you were old enough and strong enough. This is your history. This is your legacy. The world has been too long without a hero, but I'm hoping that it will have one soon.
Everything here looks like fucking clay. Oh yeah, well thanks for tuning in while you're on the job, I appreciate it. I'll try to talk more then. The thermostat behind me, that's not a thermostat, Patrick. That is a...
The guild seal.
That is the let you into the apartment little monitor
Those
thing.
who have the potential to become legends.
But it's pretty hot in here.
Take it.
If I looked at my computer's temperature, it would be way higher than usual. I'm pretty sweaty right now.
Is something supposed to happen?
I fucking hate. I was gonna say I hate this game. I don't hate this game, but I'm just a little bit over it. Ah yes, the road to rule.
Who are you?
I am Teresa, the seer of the spire.
It says nothing right
I
now,
guided your
Patrick,
father in his
because no
greatest
one's trying to
triumph.
get into my place.
But you have an even greater destiny ahead of you. The seal awoke at your touch.
A
as
blank
it
screen,
would
baby.
at no one else's. This means
It
the
do
fate
not
of
be
Albion
squirting.
rests on your shoulders. Before you lies the path you were born to take, and at its end is the kingdom you were born to rule. Like all heroes,
Man, this thing would have
you
been
will
so
face
much
many
cooler
trials,
if
but you
the
cannot
things you
pass
were
these
unlocking
gates
along the way
alone.
weren't just like
You will
the
need to
most
gather
basic
followers and
upgrades.
gain the support of the people. For now, you have the support of two friends. Jasper, who will serve you always. And Sir Walter Beck, who will be your greatest ally. Together you have already taken the first step in your journey. Walk through the gate and claim your reward.
Yep. Looky there. Okay, let's get my first little bit of magic.
There is a great power. The gauntlet will channel the magic within you. Use it by the tomb in the mausoleum, and the way out of the castle will open for you. You will return here when you have gathered enough followers to reach the next gate. Now go. Walter and Jasper will follow wherever you lead. And one day, perhaps the rest of Albion will do so too.
Yes. Please shut up. Oh wow, 99 cents. Thank you, Patrick. What? Yeah, literally, she hasn't aged. I get they never did a good enough job with the lore here. Just period in Fable. The best bits of lore in Fable are in the first game. Because there's so much cool stuff. Any given book you're reading in Fable, the Lost Chapters, whether the first one, Anniversary, no matter which one you play, is so much more interesting than anything you find in these two games, which is unfortunate because there are cool things. Like, the coolest part of Fable 2 is the Tattered Spire, and like all the old kingdom magic and stuff. There's some interesting things to say about that, but there's like nothing in Fable 3. Well, not nothing, I wouldn't say that, that's not fair. But, you know, like, Aurora could have been interesting, but it's just so, like, shallow and, half thought out, really, you know? Compared to a lot of, you know, like, I can't, you walk around, like, even the books in Fable 2 and 3, there's just not that much interesting lore. And because they just threw away half of what they had in, you know, the first one, it's just like, what's the point here? It's really telling, because I'm like, I'm very Dragon Age the Veilguard brained right now because I've been playing it a lot. And like, that game has writing flaws. It's pretty good, like it's a fun game so far, and it has some writing flaws. It's not like, you know, it's not to the scale that you would see if you talked about it on Twitter. I'm off of now anyways, but, or like, you know, random like angry Facebook groups that are all about just talking about games they hate, but it's still 20 times better than this. Like, any given moment, any given like codex in Dragon Age the Veilguard is much more interesting than what's here. Yeah, alright, fight some bats. It just shows you that even a mediocre game from I feel like it's unfair to call Dragon Age a mediocre game, but like a game with mediocre writing today can still be better than some of the trash we were getting from Lionhead, you know. It was never their strong suit, but you could tell that the original Fable was like made over a decade with very passionate devs with Simon and Dean Carter, and that once they were kind of once they just did the time skip, they just kind of didn't know the identity of what this world would be. But I hate this opening section of this game, like in particular. The first one, I can play that over and over again. But like the second one has some fun moments. Like, I like some of the quests there. But here, I hate this section. I hate the brother section. I hate the choice at the beginning. It's just not the same as like kind of like motivational tragedy that got me into the first two.
You might want to cover your noses from here on.
The voice acting's a lot better though in this one. I mean, the celebrity voice actors were not fucking around.
You've certainly got the hang of that spell. Shall we proceed?
John Cleese is the only good part about the sanctuary, which I guess will be coming up too soon here.
Somewhere beneath Powerstone Industrial.
Very likely. Not the safest place for us right now. But we should be able to find a way out of the city.
But like, here is an environment that's actually like pretty decent. But like every other environment, especially ones that involve trees, like look at the trees here. These look worse than the Fable 2 trees. Like, I don't know how they managed to downgrade assets that much. From what the research I've done, I've talked to a couple of Lionhead devs from Sarah. They're basically using an upgraded Fable 2 engine, which just makes me think, like, I guess maybe aesthetically they couldn't make it.
What is this place?
You know,
the
it must be.
The old assets from Fable 2 work with like the art style of the Fable 3 assets and make it look cohesive. I guess that's not me. That's not anything they said, but that's just me theorizing. But like, they're using a similar engine, the same engine, which is why they were able to pump out this game in a year and a half.
I grant you it is possible, but
obviously not enough time. Because like some of these environments look alright. The sanctuary looks alright.
The old king must have left it here.
The bigger cavey environments look good. The big wide open landscapes look way worse. Like if you go to the top of I'll have this in the video, but like if you just look at the top of Bower Lake in Fable 2, like when you're coming out of the camp at the beginning, that environment looks really good. Like it still looks good. Like the backwards compatibility Series X 4K visuals, it holds up pretty decently for a game from 2008. You play this game from 2 years later, and you walk out there, and the trees look like they're straight out of a PlayStation 2 game, you know?
We'll have plenty of time to explore this place later. Right now, we have a rather large task ahead of us.
But I don't even know where to start.
Our first stop will be the mountains of Mistpeak. There are people there who would make great allies. They won't offer their allegiance easily, but they despise Logan. And if anyone can persuade them, it's a hero.
Yes.
Very good. I will continue to become acquainted with this sanctuary. No doubt we will need to make full use of its facilities.
Right, all right then. Find Mistpeak.
It's really funny when games try to copy that like Half-Life 2 method of like not taking the control away from you, you know, when there's story stuff going on, no cutscenes, or less cutscenes, because Fable 2 and 3 has cutscenes, but to a lesser extent than the first one. But it's funny when they attempt that, and then they don't have any interactivity in the environment, so the only thing you can do is just stand and watch like a cutscene, or run around in circles just to, you know, keep yourself doing something. Like, the reason it works in Half-Life 2 is because, like, for example, when you're walking in the lab, there's things to interact with while everyone's talking. You're listening to stuff, but you're also still interacting with the game, exploring in an interesting environment. And here, it's just... I mean, that's Fable 3's problem in general. It's just a massive decrease in interactivity
how bloody cold it is up
from
here.
the other ones.
Come on. The people here call themselves dwellers. They're tough. They're loyal. And like I told you earlier, they hate Logan's guts. Yep. It may not look like much, but this is where the revolution begins. This is what Logan has reduced them to. He's taken control of these mountains and started destroying its forests. I knew they'd have a hard time finding food, but I had no idea it was this bad. The man we need to convince is Sabine, a proud old sod, but a good man and a good leader. He won't give his allegiance easily, especially to a prince.
Man, Walter,
perhaps it's best if I speak to him alone first. You know, maybe you ought to find some new clothes while I talk to Sabine. Something slightly less princely. We don't need this kind of attention. I only have a little bit of gold, but it should be enough. And maybe you can spread what's left among the people. They need it more than we do.
Alright. Get these dweller clothes.
It's all Logan's fault. All I've eaten this week is snow.
Like, the Road to Rule having one of its unlockables just be, or having its unlockables be...
I'm so hungry.
Yeah. I totally agree with that. Like, a good cutscene, especially when it comes to Final Fantasy, like, you can say what you will about any of those games. Cutscenes, they've always been good at the cinematics. Like, the directors of those games know how to make something like legitimately like movie quality looking. Like, even like, I remember being a kid and playing the original, you know, Final Fantasy VII, and like the Aerith's death is so effective just because the cinematic is so good. Like, it is legit. If they just had it happen in game and he's just like behind you and you're still in your character point of view, obviously it's different now, you know, because it wouldn't be the same as if they had used that, you know, striking cinematic with the music, camera angles. Like, it works because of the cinematic.
I feel so weak.
All right. Oh yeah. The golden trail in this game makes me so mad because it is so broken. when I I guess he's
Where
still
can I
listening
find
to talk
clothes?
about him.
Oh, don't worry. You'll find someone willing to take that money off you. Now, wish me good luck.
Okay. But the Golden Trail just being this broken. Because when I talked to one of the devs, they basically said that the Golden Trail barely functioned in Fable 2. Like, it was so resource intensive that they had to make they had to do an insane amount of optimization just to get it functional. And it works well in that game. And you can tell that without the time to polish the game here,
Is this how you
that it just didn't work as well.
Through the guild seal. What extraordinary device. It would seem that as long as you carry the seal, we can communicate freely. Not only that, but you may return to the sanctuary anytime you deem it necessary. Might I suggest you do so now and try on your new outfit?
So hungry.
All I've eaten this week is snow.
Logan, if I had the strength.
Hungry.
Donating some money to the poor. Like, think about like Mass Effect 2 when it comes to cinematics. That game is so effective at, like, think of like the camera angles. They use the art of cinema to accurately portray the different characters. Like when you talk to Jack, like, she has a different style than when you talk to Garrus or when you talk. And in a lot of these games, they just do like the most basic filmmaking for cutscenes, and so that's where, like, I get it when you don't want to do less cutscenes because it's just like it isn't always an effective tool when you don't know how to wield it. Just like, you know, when you watch like a basic Netflix movie versus when you watch something, you know, when you watch something that's truly great. When you watch like The Godfather, it uses, like, Mass Effect 2 uses the visual language of cinema to create different aesthetics and vibes for the characters, and uses the music to accentuate that. And a lot of games don't do that, but I would still rather you do basic cutscenes than just like uninteractive walking around segments.
Hello.
Just drives me crazy on a
Included in the
replay.
sanctuary
The first
is a
playthrough,
dressing
it's
room.
fine.
Step through,
Yeah,
and I'll show you.
good dressing room.
I've taken the liberty of laying out your clothes on these mannequins, which should
There
serve.
you go.
There you are. You look just like a dweller. I hope this new outfit is as comfortable as your royal attire, though I suspect the
Please.
chances of that are quite low. Now that you are properly
go.
attired, you should return to Sir Walter. It is time to meet this Sabine that we've heard so much about.
On a technical side, the Sanctuary
That's
just being
more
that
like
quick,
it.
no
Scruffy look
loading
suits you.
scenes is
I've
probably the
spoken
best
to
thing about it.
Sabine,
Oops, I accidentally
explained
took a
everything,
screenshot.
and he's, well, I told you he'd take some convincing. Come on.
Please help us.
Ooh. Out of the way, Boulder. I can't see a thing. So royalty walks into our home. A prince, no less. You're a long mile from the castle, Prince.
Watching
What do
the
you think of our home, then?
behind the
Like what
scenes
your
and like
brothers
seeing
done
Ben
to us?
Kingsley like
These
really get into
mountains
the
have
voice
always
acting
been
here
ours.
is
Now
so fun.
Logan's
You can
been
tell he
ours.
actually really enjoyed it.
Living
He's
them
one of the better
all
voice
life.
actors in this game.
Oh,
It
we're
was
ready
his
to
first
go
and I
to
think
war.
maybe only one.
Why should we follow Logan's kin?
You can trust me. You have my word.
We don't take much stock in words round these parts.
He like
Listen.
fits in perfectly with
Ain't that
the
right,
silly
Boulder?
Fable.
Then what do you want?
Proof. First, prove you are truly, as Walter claims, a hero. This is easily done. There's a secret chamber beneath the town of Brightwall, built by your own father. Only heroes can survive its trials and reach the relics within. Bring me one of these ancient objects and I will believe you. Second, prove you are a warrior worthy of leading us into battle. You can do this by slaying the mercenaries
Oh my god.
who plague.
It's nice to see Sabine hasn't mellowed with age. But anyway, I know the place he mentioned. Your father built the chamber under the Bright Wall Academy, Albion's greatest seat of learning. At least it was, until Logan closed it down. Just show the old librarian your guild seal. He'll know what it means. I'll try to find out more about these mercenaries. I'll see you in Brightwall when I have some information.
The time jump here is so funny.
It makes a nice change, doing something useful.
Somehow, like, a lot can change in 50 years in history. This is true. I mean, we witness this. But the changes in Albion here are so massive. I also just don't understand their unwillingness to visit older areas other than Bowerstone. Like, you're telling me that, like, Bloodstone doesn't matter anymore? That, like, we shouldn't visit, like, spooky, magical places like, you know, Wraith's Marsh? Like, I get that, I get they were, that part of the point was that they were trying to portray a lack of magic in Albion. But, like, they fail at that when they have a whole zombie town, you know? Yeah, I know, 2 dungeons to prove you're a hero. Like, what are they doing here? Like, how about I shoot fire out my hands, I'm a hero. Is that not proof enough? Now there's all these bloodthirsty wolves. And then they de-emphasize the dog, too. There's just there's a lot of interesting choices made, like, iterative choices. And that's, like, part of the thesis of my video is just gonna be that, like, Fable 3 actually has a lot of good developmental decisions that probably wouldn't have come if it weren't for the strict, you know, 18-month development window that Microsoft, you know, set upon them. But on the offhand, 18 months isn't enough to create a good game, you know, like a fully fleshed out game. So those decisions are like half measures. Like, I think the very concept of the game, like, thematically is that, you know, the having to start a revolution, make a bunch of promises to people, and then, like, you know, an existential threat makes it hard to keep those promises while keeping everyone safe. You know, like, you have to choose between safety and you know, your reputation. Like, that's super interesting. That is a thing that, you know, you can portray that in other forms of media and movies. You can, like, talk about it, but putting you in those shoes is very different. But it's just 18 months isn't long enough to fully flesh that out, so you end up with a sudden ending where that section is barely anything. I mean, you know, the last time I streamed, you know, it does the 130-day jump. And then the game's over and everyone hates you because you forgot to put enough money, you forgot to put all your money into the, you know, Royal Treasury. And it's just such a frustrating game because there are little glimmers of great ideas that, like, what, another year?
I see you're approaching Brightwall, a most
another year could have brought you like a pretty good Fable game, like a game that properly builds off of Fable 2 while being different because of its, you know, the very concept it's going for.
Smoke. Of course, a less charitable mind would term them simpletons, but I encourage you to shop in their stores, drink in their taverns, and otherwise partake in their small town pleasures.
Like, even if the plot, you know, if I have most of the same issues with the game, but they're just, like, fleshed out a little bit more, it's like, you know, this game is, like, in my opinion, yeah, Xenogear, yeah, exactly. This game is, like, possibly, like, I hate being harsh on it. I'm feeling harsh now because I'm playing through my least favorite section of the game, but, like, yeah, I can pet the doggo, Evan. I'll do that in a second. But, like, I am more annoyed by a game that attempts that has great ideas and doesn't flesh them out properly than I am by a game that never had any good ideas at the start. You know, like if I don't think a game is that good from the start, I will simply just
Sweet papyrus.
I will simply just move on, you know. But a game that's interesting, a game that's like mediocre, but has great ideas,
Closed the academy. I'm
that gets my blood pumping.
Custodian these days.
Alright. I'll pet the dog in a second.
By that. Oh, walk.
Thumb clipping through the seal. Great work, guys. Looks great.
I haven't seen it since the old hero king last came here. Oh, then you are...
The prince, yes.
Oh, my.
The prince.
Please, come this way. Your father told me that one day a challenger bearing the seal would come seeking entrance to the reliquary, but I never imagined it would happen in my lifetime. It was he who founded the academy, of course. I have often wondered how you would react to see it in its present state. Here we are. I can't tell you how many of our researchers and professors have studied this door, hoping to unlock its mechanism. But I knew there was only one thing that would ever open it.
Come on. There we go. I actually like the reliquary. I think it's a nice little dungeon. One of the better ones in the game. So, finally some good fucking food. Alright. Yeah, loading screen. Man, I'm not excited to play Loot Hero for like 5 hours of this playthrough again. But I'm trying to get the proper ending since I blew it the last time, so this is my own fault. I will just do fewer of the other side quests. Since most of that footage survived. Most of the side quests, good side quest footage survived, just some other ones that I'll replay, but I need to replay them anyways to progress. I guess I should probably loot some of these bookshelves. That's a thing here, yeah. Get my 2 gold each. Like, you know, they could put some lore books in here if they had more time, but instead they just get a compendium of, you know, lost knowledge, ancient languages, but they don't want to actually give you any real lore because they didn't have time to do it. Let's say, silver key. No, whatever. I don't need it anyways. Great soundtrack, though. They always cook on the soundtracks in Lionhead games. You can say what you will. But Russell Shaw is him. That's literally maybe the main thing I'm excited for.
Jasper here again. I believe that amazing device is what is known as a flit switch. However, on the subject of amazing things, you will not believe what I have just found in the sanctuary. You should come back as soon as you possibly can.
Man, what a nice environment. If only the rest of the game looked this good. Okay, to the sanctuary we go.
This sanctuary contains an armory, within which there are some truly remarkable weapons, heroic weapons, which your father left for you. This way, please.
Look at the dog. He has a little bed. What a cute little guy. Name my dog Cletus. I was gonna say Cleat, but that would have been so stupid.
Particularly impressive yet. However,
according
to the book, they actually change as you use them, becoming more deadly and
yeah, I agree. The music is the best part. I mean, Russell Shaw did the first Black and White too, and that soundtrack also slaps. He's just really good.
Now that you have a proper weapon, you should return to the chambers underneath Brightwall Academy. Ah, yes, the Flitz.
He's doing. He's the main thing I'm excited about with the new.
Is by hitting your new weapon should serve
with
with
Molyneux's new game, because they got him back doing the soundtrack, and I'm like, this game looks terrible, but maybe we get some good music out of it. So I stay winning no matter what. All right. The flip switch puzzles in Fable 2 are so stupid. It's the only puzzles in the game. Alright, I gotta, you know, clean my slate and think of the good things about this game. Side quests are really good. The puzzles are a little bit better. There's a little more variety. Like, there are some good game design decisions here that just aren't present in the other ones. But flip switches are not among them. Or the fact that you spend more time fighting Hollow Men than any other enemy. Great. That is true. The thing about this, once again, thinking about Dragon Age again, like that game a lot of the time in the day-to-day gameplay overcomes some sketchy writing at certain points. With there's some good moments, you know, so that always helps balance it out. But the fact that the moment-to-moment combat is exhilarating, it feels fun. There's different ways to go about it, so you never feel like you're just like, oh, go here, kill a bunch of enemies, leave, you know, and it's not really fun. Because that's what Fable suffers from in all of its games, is that there's no variety. It's all combat based. It's all mediocre, clunky, slow, almost tank-like combat. And that's all you do in any given quest. And Fable 3 does that a little better than everyone else. Yeah, this year, this came out in 2010. And so the combat isn't even that good for 2010. You're able to excuse the first Fable for that because, you know, it's a studio who's never made an RPG before, who's never even made like a third-person action game like that before. And that has the best combat of the series, honestly, just because there's a variety of spells. You can really, truly become super powerful. Fable 2 is fine. It iterates on it. It's a little less clunky. But, like, by 2010, you should have smoother combat. You should have better feeling combat. Smoother combat existed at this point. I mean, it existed when the first Fable came out too. But when you're coming up with more stuff, you gotta do better. If that's gonna be your main mode of engaging with the world, it's gotta be tighter, you know? It's gotta be a tighter, better experience. I'll do that one. Go test. It's like the first Dragon Age Origins. It's not my favorite, you know, my favorite combat of all time. I think it's pretty good. It's pretty tactical, but it's clunky. It doesn't feel great most of the time, you know. But it's such a good game. Yeah, exactly. Batman is literally a great example of how you can make a smooth feeling, you know, melee-focused action game. And the thing is here is that I don't think it's such a bad base here. Like, I think they could have built off this in a major way and tightened it up, but I don't know, I guess they didn't have time. But it's just so unengaging. They've simplified it too much. You can only simplify something so much before it You know, there's an inverse curve for making something accessible and keeping it fun. You know, because this is too simple. The combat has 3 buttons that you can spam over and over again with no real strategy. There's no like combos you can hit. There's no like engaging parry system. There is a parry system. In fact, the first one has a better parry system than this one. But it's not like, you know, we've all been spoiled by Souls games with that. But like, you can do a combat-focused RPG and still have it be engaging if you make the enemies act differently. But in Fable 3, they're all mobbing you, and your only solution is to just spam 3 buttons. And I'm a proponent of you press the buttons. If you're a gamer, you press the buttons for the games that you play. So like, if a game offers you a bunch of systems and you're not engaging with them, eventually that's on you, you know? Unless they make it pretty obtuse. But here, there are no deeper systems to engage with. There you go. Like, there's no strategy to it. The Hollow Men, these enemies don't block you. There's no incentive to even try other things until the enemies get a little tougher. Even then, there's no like good boss fights to make you engage with like, oh, you... Like, it's on the developers to make you engage with every system, and when the developers don't engage you with those, then it's yeah. I mean, especially like I wasn't a big fan of like the troll fights in Fable 2 just because they were numerous, and but yeah, being able to manually aim your gun and then just take off. Yeah, that was fun. It was another way to engage with combat that made things a little more fun, you know? Here they simplified it even further, you know? There's not much here. And there's no progression, there's no new combos to engage with here. Hell, half like the rewards you get are just basic features of the game. So if you go to the road to rule to unlock like, oh, I do more damage with melee combat, but you also you have to unlock the ability to buy property, like one of the simple systems of the game. It's like, that's how you know they just didn't have anything. Go back to what? Sorry, I want to answer this correctly. Keep going on tangent. Where am I? Guess I should. No, I'm gonna explore. What's up here? Great exploration, guys. Alright, well, we'll go around. So, yeah, why they simplified it? Peter, starting with Fable 2, really became obsessed with accessibility. Like, I think the Wii kind of broke everyone's brains in the game industry for a little bit there because it was such an insane success.
You'll recall that I mentioned that flit switch.
Okay.
So the weapons in question were also left for you by your father. They are in the armory.
Fable 2 was simplified from the
Like
first
the
Fable
sword and
quite a
hammer,
bit,
these astonishing
but it is more
weapons
involved
evolve
than
over
this one.
time as you use them, becoming ever more.
But Peter
The
became
pistol,
obsessed with it because he thought that
You
simplifying
are
it and making games more
space
accessible would lead to
I'll
more
keep an eye
people
for
playing the
curious
games,
and
more
change.
sales, and like more,
Meantime,
fun.
experiment and see what
But
incredible
you can
problems
only
are waiting
simplify
to be
something so
unlocked.
much before it becomes, a game that like this is a game that has mature themes. It is a mature game. This isn't an E for everyone game. If you simplify a game like this and make it, so easy that children can play it, you're eventually gonna piss off the wrong people. You're gonna piss off the people you're trying to game it. So the rationale is just like, the simpler the game, the more people will play it. And the more, And I think part of that is cope here for Fable 3. While simplifying the combat was part of the experience, they also added, more to the property systems, to the social system. But the rest of it being simplified in Fable 3 was because they simply didn't have enough time, and he was so obsessed with accessibility anyway, he was like, great, this looks out. Like, one of the articles I'm pulling from for the video, he straight up, and this is like a post-mortem article, he straight up admits that he didn't even try to fight for more time to develop the game. He just like took the L. Yeah, you had the strap in Fable 2 as well. But he admits that like he could have asked for an extension and that he definitely should have, but he didn't because he wanted the bonuses from Microsoft for completing it on time. Like, what are we doing here? And so he's like, yeah, that was my bad. We didn't get the game I wanted. I mean, literally the game is unfinished. The third act is nothing. It's alright. It's just like completely, obviously unfinished. It is so unfinished that when you reach the point of no return, like even in Fable 2, but like in any RPG, when you reach a point where it's like, okay, this is the last, you go on this quest, there's no going back. The story, this is the finale of the story. They'll include a message like that. In Fable 3, it just goes, and suddenly the game's over. And because there's no like manual save system, it's an auto save system. You can't even go back. It's not an option. That's why I'm replaying again, because I'm pissed about it. But even the pre-release articles and interviews that Peter was doing were all about like, we're focused on accessibility. We want more people to love Fable. So Fable 2 and, Fable has been such a success. I mean, Fable 2 was one of the most successful games on the 360. So he was like, why not? Let's get more. We need more players. But I don't get what Microsoft was thinking either. Microsoft's like, ooh, what a successful game. Let's make them make the sequel in half the time. Not even half the time. I think they had a third of the development time for Fable 3 as they did Fable 2. How do you expect more for less, These like greedy publishers are so stupid about this. And everyone was doing it. EA was doing it. They gave, BioWare 14 months for Dragon Age 2. They gave them like 2 years for Mass Effect 2. They gave them like a year and a half for Mass Effect 3, and then they had to extend it because obviously you can't make the grand finale of your series in a year and a half. And even then, the ending was so controversial that like maybe if they had spent more time. This is just it still happens, but games are so intensive and expensive to make now, you have to kind of give them a little more time if you're trying to make a big, grand single-player adventure, because it's just so pricey. Alright. Back to the road to rule, baby. But yeah, it's like this game is a classic example of one step forward, 2 steps back. But the 2 steps back were entirely preventable.
Touching the guild seal was an indication of what you could become. Reaching the music box has proven what you already are. No one but a hero could have done it. You have begun to learn what powers you possess, and there is still greater potential within you. But you have only taken the first step in your journey.
Yeah.
Albion is crying out for a revolution, and for someone to lead it. Winning supporters to your cause will be hard. Leading them against Logan will be an even greater challenge, but it's one you must accomplish.
I'll make him pay for what he did.
This is not a matter of personal vengeance. As long as your brother sits on the throne, Albion is in great danger. Open the music box. It will show you the truth.
Please. Okay, there you go. Also just... You... Like... BioWare's so stuck in my brain. But like, you can't get away.
Cities will bow to my law.
No. This cutscene makes no sense in the greater scheme.
Mountains will bend to my will, or they will fall. This is my Albion. Its people will do as I say, or they will die. Its future will be as I decree, or it will end. I've seen what must be done, and nothing will stand in my way. We will be greater, and we will be stronger. No matter what sacrifices we must make.
They have this cutscene there where his motivations are allegedly just that of like being a tyrant, being a great, wanting to control Albion, wanting to make Albion stronger, like a nationalistic thing. And then when they try to give him those deeper Logan, when they try to give him those deeper motivations later, suddenly it's like I'm supposed to be a little sympathetic because actually I did it because I was scared of this big threat. But they don't foreshadow that with that cutscene. And it isn't like a misdirection. They put that there, they shift the perspective to Logan to try to, you know, like, I don't know what they're doing. They're bad writers, what can I say? Has a Lionhead game ever had a really great story? I think Fable 1 and 2 have decent, like, okay stories, competent stories, but, like, that's never been the strong suit. Alright, time to buy the Landlord pack. Gotta be a landlord to even get a good ending. But it's just like, even the writing that's here is so confused and nonsensical. It's like I'm supposed to think Logan is the most evil tyrant of all time, but then when it comes to they try to get you to be a little sympathetic later in the game when you see that there's an existential threat, and it's like, make it make any sense. The math isn't mathing here. Let's see. Talk spell. Now, one thing I will praise it for, a light praise, is that I like the basis of the spell system here.
There are new items available in the Sanctuary shop.
As in, I like that you can combine them, and they will...
You have a new type of gauntlet available.
Yes. That they will have...
A device which allows a hero to channel magical energies to cast spells. Quite excellent.
Oh, can I not combine these ones? Oh, not showing that off right now.
Excellent choice of gauntlet.
But that you can combine your spells, and they can they'll have like a new animation and a cool effect. Like there's like a vortex spell. You combine the vortex spell with the fire. It's a fire vortex. That I like. That I think is cool. That's a good way to incentivize trying all the different spells. It incentivizes you to engage with everything else. Good stuff, Lionhead. But the rest of the combat, not as interesting. And that's undone by just not a lot of
index cards. You made it.
Not a lot of combinations to deal with. There's like 6 spells. It's the shortest list in the entire series.
As a hero again. If ever I can be of assistance, I will be honored to serve you.
I knew you would succeed, sir. You now have proof positive of your heroic faith, and I believe Walter has made some progress with the mercenary problem. He is waiting for you outside the local tavern.
There you go. I'm not telling off my dog, though. Why would I do that? Alright. Time to go here. But honestly, the best part of this game really is the side quests. The side quests are the best missions of the game. None of the main quests even measure up to that at all. Yeah, I knew you'd like the dog. They finally let me pet him, you know. But yeah, they made the dog one of the major development focuses of 2, and then just kind of kept him for the sake of continuity. But they cast the dog aside.
You were successful then, bloody marvelous. You'll be glad to know I have some information on the mercenaries Sabine mentioned. They're led by a man called Saker. He used to be a soldier, but always had more in common with bandits and cutthroats than the military. His men are holed up in a small fortress in the mountains, so it won't be easy to get in. But I have a plan. Come with me.
There's just so many writing inconsistencies, and I'm not a CinemaSins type nitpicker. I'm willing to ignore some stuff if like the greater theme makes sense, or if it, you know, serves the greater theme in a way that like
cold-blooded killer.
Little inconsistencies are fine, but these inconsistencies are so huge that it just makes all of the entire story make very little sense.
For everyone. It wasn't hard to get him completely pickled.
You can tell that they always get into the writing of the story so late in these games.
Anyway, take his clothes and you'll have a free pass into their camp. Just try not to think about what those stains might be.
Sell me your unwanted items. I want to buy them.
You're not...
Stupid. Looks so stupid.
Likely to convince anyone without a bit of extra effort. Even these idiots will notice if you don't have his beard or tattoos. I'm sure you can get hold of what you need around town, though.
My favorite is that
meantime,
whatever gender you play, like my first playthrough was as the female hero.
They might not have much to spare here.
You still wear the same. You still try to like have his beard, and it just doesn't work with the female. Like with the female hero, it doesn't even look like it works.
It'll be your first taste of real battle, but I know you'll do just fine.
Because suddenly it's like they make like the bandit outfit sexy, you know? So it's like, this is clearly not the same dude. What are we even doing here? Just little things like that. Nothing makes sense in this game.
I'm afraid. They've been banned.
Some buzz for your face?
Alrighty.
Just a few more coins and I get the Beggar of the Month plaque.
They want me to make some pies.
You won't find anything better in all of Brightwool than the stuff I'm selling right here.
Yeah. This is real gaming right here.
Good pie.
Can't believe I need 1,000 gold to just to buy a
You can roll
beard
with the best of them.
and a tattoo. Economy's fucked. Logan's economy for you, am I right?
Welcome to my shop.
Cheers for that, lad. Sublime. That's one hell of a pie.
It's kind of embarrassing that this is some of the most fun gameplay.
Wonderful dough work.
Just a stupid little rhythm game.
If you can
better prices anywhere.
Great.
Also, I like that they had the FPS boost for the actual gameplay. So this runs at 60 frames per second on the Series X, but the UI, you know, the actual animation for the rhythm game is still running at 30, so it looks choppy as hell and feels terrible. I guess that's just a little technical quirk that comes from, you know, running a game that was never meant to run at this frame rate, at least on this platform.
You'll need somewhere to live if you meet that special someone.
I wonder if it's any different in the PC port, the Games for Windows Live. I didn't want to bother with that because spending a bunch of time getting a game that's not supposed to work anymore working didn't make much sense when I had a copy of the game and a Series X that could run it. But I am curious to see if it does that better. I know it makes the property system better by allowing you to do a repair all button, you know? Fuck.
You'll have to pay for that.
Distracted.
But it was nice knowing we had the best library in the
Get out of the way.
It smells delicious.
Does it get easy?
Ooh, there you go.
And what about the sleeping on the ground? You look like you know your business.
That's one hell of a pie.
God, I think when I go to rewrite the script, I think I'm gonna be even more. I think I'm gonna be more negative than than the original one was.
Sublime.
I wanted to be a little more optimistic. I wanted this whole series to be a little more optimistic, but people were
That's a
cooking.
good pie.
Things have never.
I'm a hater at heart, but I don't like the
Might
state
have that for
of
pudding
like
tonight.
gaming content. It's all just meant to stoke negative feelings, and I just tend to. I don't.
Cost is divine.
All right, I'm done.
You
With
appear
that,
to have
I got
earned
enough gold.
gold to purchase the rather repulsive items you require to complete your mercenary disguise. A most impressive feat for a member of
I
the
don't
family.
like where.
Of course,
Like
should
when
you
I go
acquire
into my
additional
YouTube
labor,
studio
you
app
may
and
continue
see
working
like what
with
they're
us.
recommending me for inspiration, it's all just like woke Dragon Age, the Veilguard is failing if the sales are horrible. And it's just like, that's not what I want. I don't want my discussion of games to be framed around rage and anger and, you know, this is horrible, this is that. But, and I enjoyed these Lionhead games so much as a kid. And I wanted to, you know, I think there's an overly negative reception to Peter to a point. Like, I think the way people talk about, like, Fable 2 and Fable 1 can be sometimes a little ridiculous. Like, people still bringing up the Acorn
You're paying top
lie, you know?
top quality
Like,
items.
it matters at all is insane to me. Like, I don't think that serves anyone.
Yeah, it may be expensive,
Like,
but it's
it's
worth
just like, that's a
every
deflection from an actual issue, and I
appears you
just
have
feel like
all the
that should become all more common. But
mercenary
I want my content to be positive, you know,
You
generally.
may return to the
Or at least
sanctuary
not
to change into it
nuanced,
you
you
wish.
know? But I find myself just getting annoyed playing this game again. Like, the first playthrough, there's still some novelty value here. Now this one, I'm like, all so silly.
Let's adjourn to the dressing room and see about your disguise, shall we? The appropriate facial hair adorns the bust before you.
Yeah.
Perfect. You look dangerous and devoid of all human decency already. Now, for the tattoo. Ah, yes,
Hey,
very
I'm all
mercenary
dolled up.
indeed. You'll fit right in with those brutes. Now then, you better be off to deal with Seika,
Yes.
hadn't you?
You should let me deal with it. John, please. Please.
Why do that? I just don't get it.
Like, this looks terrible. Like, I can't believe they released a game and just let, like, all the models look like clay and not load in properly and all the trees look like clay. I don't know how Microsoft could have had their, you know, because from what I've been told, Microsoft also has their own playtesters. The publisher always tests the game before it goes out as well. They don't just take the developer's word for it. I can't believe they played this and were like, yep, good enough, push it out. We don't need to give more time for one of our 2 or one of our 3 big series at the time, you know? Back then, the linchpins of the Xbox brand were Halo, Gears was big at this point, and Fable. Those were their 3 big IPs that had actually taken off. And they just fumbled it. I guess they were I guess this is like right around the time Reach came out. This really was like the beginning of the end for the whole brand. Which is a shame. Like, I was talking with people at my new job, which is part of the reason why this video is taking so long to come out, is that I'm working way more than I used to. But like, they were just talking about how it's corny to own an Xbox. Like, how it is corny to play games on a different console than like the one that won the last generation, the PlayStation. Like that, to get to the point where like when Fable 2 and 3 were coming out, the PS3 was a flop. It ended up outselling the 360 in the end, because after, you know, like the initial rush of Fable 2, Gears 2, Gears 3, and Halo Reach, after those games came out, they had no big exclusives. And then they spent the next generation, they fumbled that by, you know, advertising the one as a TV box and not emphasizing the games. And then they barely had any good exclusives for that too. And in the Series X, I think PlayStation suffers from a similar issue where the amount of exclusives are just lacking. Like, what's the identity of the brand? What's the plan here? How are you going to get people to say, oh, I need an Xbox for that game? Because I think they were banking on Starfield being better than it was, but having a mediocre Bethesda flop be one of your only few big exclusives is...
Hi, Jimmy. Back from killing some
not
dwellers.
a good look. Generational fumble. It's crazy that we're 4 years into this generation and, like, name the big, like, genre-defining, like, exclusive. Like, we've had, I mean, you know, like, console-defining exclusive for either the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox. There's really not a good one. There's been good,
Sometimes wish I joined me dad with a family business. Why didn't you? Well, I never saw myself as a sugar salesman.
It just feels like we're kind of in a weird, lost generation right now. Like, I enjoyed Hellblade, that was good. I played a lot of Starfield, I will lie. It was on Game Pass, so that's why I played a lot of it. If I had spent $70 on it, I probably would have been pretty annoyed.
Don't be shy, Jimmy. Come on over.
And Microsoft is almost abandoning exclusives as a whole. Like, that Indiana Jones game is coming to PlayStation 5 already. They've already announced the trailers, and it hasn't even had its exclusive
Jim,
window
how's
done.
things? You've been drinking in Brightwall again? Don't let anybody tell you drinking alone is wrong. That's some of the best times I've had. Anyway, in you go then, mate.
Jimmy, that really you? You look different somehow. Were your eyes always that colour?
Nah, Jimmy's got periwinkle eyes like a beautiful summer morning sky. That's not him.
It's not Jimmy!
Alright.
Stop him from shooting that thing! Filthy spellcasting bastard! Don't, mate! Don't just stand there and take. That's it! Cut out the scum's heart! Open the gates! The new reinforcements!
Yeah. Another thing they carried over too is that there's no difficulty here, because like Fable 2, where the only thing you lost was like experience, you just lose progress towards your next skill set, which, as you see, killing 2 enemies fills a quarter of it. So like, that's not punishment enough for them dying. I think they learned the wrong lessons from from Fable 1's like shitty hero save, world save system. And just made it impossible for there to be any like real difficulty. Like, games need to have a little bit of challenge to be compelling, you know, to be engaged. There's no consequences for dying. Why even engage?
Don't worry, just a scratch.
All right. And they kept like half the verticality of 2 here, but not all of it. Everything is a little clunkier. Oh, see, now I can get the left sleeve. These ugly mercenary tattoos. It's also strange that they kind of abandoned the morality system. That was kind of the emphasis of the first game. Not abandoned it here, obviously, but it doesn't have the same story concept that it does. Like, whether I'm an evil king or not is irrelevant. And I think having a little bit of gray area for this one made a lot of sense if, you know, there's a little bit more to it.
It's not nice to play with guns.
But it's just interesting, because that was such a huge focus in this series. That's kind of its main gimmick. This feels like, what was Fable's identity at this point?
Kill the Jimmy impersonator! He's got a gun and he knows how to use it. Oh yes, dish that damage, lad. Pick him up, mate. It's just a dog.
I'm trying to be I'm trying to get this video out. I'm really taking my time, just because I just haven't had a lot of it. But I'm trying to do another playthrough, rewrite sections of the script. There's a lot of analysis in there. I stand by and think it's really good. But when I started recording it about like 3 weeks ago, there were just some other aspects that I really thought were oh, that's interesting. Having it hidden is pointless, but I guess maybe they just didn't. I wonder if it's another example of it being completely. But as I said, I'm trying to have this video out definitely before the end of the year, obviously. And I think I will. I think once I finish this playthrough, do my rewrites, do my re-record, that can happen all pretty quickly. Because this game isn't that long, so I don't need to spend a bunch of time doing it. But I think once I really get in the mode of it, you know, spending my days off a few hours a day doing that, and spending some more time on it during the days I do work when I get out a little earlier, I will be able to finish this, you know, get this out, have it be the quality that I want, because I just don't want to release something that's worse than my last video, you know. It's all about being a little bit better with each video. I'm still learning, you know. I want to experiment with After Effects for some of the, for a little bit of it, you know. To try some new motion graphics. That looks terrible. I just popped them off there.
Don't worry, mate. We'll dig that bullet out of you.
And then after that, I'm going to do a little video on the Milo and Kate saga, because I think that is the perfect reason. I think it's the perfect explanation for how we got to where we were with Peter Molyneux's reputation. Like, he was already a laughingstock, but that is where he went from a, like, oh, he's promising acorns growing and he didn't give that to me, that's so silly and stupid, to
You're not one of Seville's dwellers.
this dude is a straight up liar. Like, a negligent liar. And then I'm gonna do Fable the Journey. But I want to have a proper camera for that, because I want to, you know, I have to record me playing a Connect game. I'm not just gonna, like, have it be on screen. You can't describe how a motion controlled game feels without showing what you look like while playing it. And I'm sure I'm gonna look ridiculous. But I'm excited for that one, because I've never played Fable the Journey. I owned the Kinect, but I heard it was bad, and I was like, well, if it's bad, then I don't really care. In fact, I don't think I know anyone that's actually played Fable the Journey. So it'll be like a truly new experience, because I've barely read anything about it other than that it was mediocre when it came out, you know? So I'm so curious. I have a 360, I have a Kinect and everything. It's gonna be so stupid. And then after that, when I'm done with this series, I'll do a little, like, you know, post-mortem. I'll do like a little roundup on Goddess, because I do have experience playing Goddess and Curiosity Gear, like all that stuff. Like, I was there for that. I was still on the Peter Molyneux train. And then after that, I'm gonna start doing, like, you know, different stuff. I have a couple series ideas. I want to do a series on, like, you know, games by famous developers that, like, don't have to get a lot of attention. I want those to be, like, shorter one-off videos that I can pump out to stay consistently uploading, rather than these, like, lengthy retrospectives. So I want those to be, you know, in the 20 to 30 minute range. Not short, but more manageable with my new schedule. And still, you know, just as jam-packed and, well, you know. But just something easy. And then I want to do, you know, different one-off, more in-depth, like hour-long video essay-style videos. I have a bunch of ideas. I even have, like, outlined some of them, just to keep them fresh. So I have a lot of ideas here, because this is a fun album. And there's a lot of, I want to cover things that my favorite YouTubers have done a lot of covering. Because, you know, who wants to repeat things you've already seen? Also, I struggle, I don't know if anyone else feels this, but like when you watch something, content for a game you haven't played, or you haven't played in a while, it really does kind of color some of my takes, you know?
Where'd you get that plate?
So I struggle with that, at least in the short term. So usually I like to, you know, play the games or play them immediately after I watch a video. Like, I just finished Nier Automata for the first time. And I never watched any content on that, even from, like, Super Bunny Hop, who's one of my favorite guys ever. Because I wanted to, you know, think for myself with the game. And I knew that if I watched it, I'd be thinking too much about his analysis and not mine. I own. But man, what a good game. Watching the anime too. That is also phenomenal. Come on, bro. There you go.
Stop! You've won. This battle is yours. Kill me or let me live. It's your choice. And my men will honor it. We may be nothing but mercenaries, but we have our codes, like any other soldiers. We'll leave the dwellers be, no matter what you do. That is a warrior's promise.
Fair. But like, this choice has like no impact.
I won't forget this. Let the stranger go.
Either way, I accomplished my goal. Okay, entering the road to rule again.
You have taken another step on the road to rule. Sparing Saker has won over the support of his followers. Word is already spreading of your compassion and your strength.
Let me improve the magic. I like that Peter's like concept for like, oh, we did away with all the numbers because grocery store, huh? Yeah, can I get a motherfucking please? But I like how he's like, oh, we don't like having the numbers on the screen, you know. It like a lover expression back. So we're just gonna give you vague, yeah, this does more damage. How much more damage? You don't know. Family pack, yeah, gotta be able to get married, have children. Well, now I'm gonna get married way earlier in the game than I did before because I waited for Elise the last time. Elliot, who the male version of Elliot's voiced by Nicholas Hoult, so I always spare him when I play the female hero because he's a cutie patootie. There we go. Alright. At least Teresa talks less with the later you get into the game. So annoying just standing there looking at this gray ass trail. Alright, making pretty good progress. Game really does move fast.
I'm no expert on personal combat, but I would say, based on the fact that you're not dead, you acquitted yourself rather well. It's hard to believe that just a few days ago I was rousing you from a comfortable bed. It would seem that you have completed 2 of the tasks that Sabine set for you. If you return to Brighton, you will find Sir Walter has some news on how to fulfill the last requirement. Sir Walter...
I don't care, brother. Go in here, brother. God, this the fast travel and sanctuary system is doing not that much different from other games, but it's just having to do the double.
Have you
click the start, then move to go to the menu? So annoying. Why add an extra step? Why break my flow like that? You talk about accessibility and simplifying, and you complicated the most normal thing in the world, which is a menu. You said, menus are too boring, so why don't we just make it complicated and like visual instead? Well, in theory, they did it in black and white with the temple. But even with black and white, you could use a regular menu. Like when you wanted to save the game, you could just press start or escape in that case. Click and save. But you could press a button and go straight to the save room. You know, the Sanctuary. It's like if I want to change my.
Samuel, this isn't a silver hen ale.
If I want to change my weapons, I have to go through like 2 different.
We were just talking about you.
Stupid.
Indeed, we have made
Doesn't
a
help
toast
anyone.
to your
Who asked for
stupendous
it?
feat in ridding
Just a
Myspeak
gimmick
of
for the
Saker
sake
and
of
his
gimmick.
men. They have been a source of great distress for some time.
Nobody will be more pleased than Sabine. His dwellers might find some peace now.
Of course, nobody has suffered more than they.
I've been telling Samuel here about the terrible situation they're in. He thinks he may be able to help.
Yes, well, perhaps. I mean, of course. The thing is, as I was just explaining to Sir Walter, Brightwall has no overabundance of resources itself. The King's levies are rather steep, and we face shortages more often than is comfortable.
But,
were you to improve things around Brightwall, the people would be most grateful. And when people are grateful, they're also charitable.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would find it in their hearts to send aid to those poor
Jesus,
people.
just
there you
get
have
it over with.
The way I see it, you will need all the followers
Once again,
you can get.
just
You're
listening
going
to people
lead a
talk.
Successful rebellion.
Trying to do the interactive, no cutscenes, without anything to engage with.
Pardon me for overhearing.
Thank you. I'm out.
As it happens, I've learned of a promising method for amassing followers. If you'll return to the Sanctuary at your earliest convenience, an excellent way to get. You can now see the villagers in need.
Now I can do side quests.
You can also
Yay.
see how many followers you must amass to impress Samuel and the people of Brightwall. Select a villager to help. By doing so, you will gain the respect and loyalty of others in the region.
The gnomes
By
is one of the
completing
few
quests for
collectathon
those in
quests I
need,
actually kind of
You will
enjoy.
prove your abilities and demonstrate your
Alright, going to
potential
the
as a
dentist,
leader.
bro. Could I get some Invisalign? I got this tooth that's out of place. I like the gnomes quests. I like the play quest that they give you, where you help them set up a play. That one's fun. I just like these quests that involve less combat. You know, it's like the game is all combat. At least have the side quests have a little variety. All right. Which one am I gonna do? I don't want to do the chicken roundup because that one's. I'll probably do the play one. But first, I'm gonna buy some property so I can start getting some, make money in my sleep. As the finance bros would say.
Excuse me, can I have a lollipop?
No, you cannot have a Wowie Pop. Alright, time to make some pies. Going to the pie shop, you want anything?
You handle that dough like an artist.
You won't find anything better in all of Brightwall than the stuff I'm selling right
says
here.
there's always someone worse off than you are.
Mmm, sublime.
Try again a few days later.
Lovely work.
Oh, prices are quite good.
No, the prices are not good, bro. There's not even anything to buy.
Pie of the decade.
I mean, there are things to
Only
buy,
time will
but like,
tell.
there's no point in a lot of. There's not enough challenge in this game to make like going
Pie of
for
the day,
the
I
higher
reckon.
tier weapons really like necessary. Everything is just so easy.
Think you missed a bit.
So it's really just buying potions.
Sublime.
All these systems in Fable 3, and so they're all so shallow that like, what's the point?
Good pie.
All right, I'll give a little more praise, just to keep
I
from being a
love your
whiner.
technique.
But I do like in Fable 3 that getting a good ending requires you to engage with its, big system. You have to obviously compass one of them. But you have to get people to like you for the social sim elements. You have to make these promises, you have to do that. And then the property is a necessary part.
Hey, easy!
I get caught up talking and I stop doing the rhythm games right. But you have to actually buy property to get a good ending. You actually have to engage with this whole...
perfection.
You didn't have to do that at all in the first two. It was really all optional. And optional cool things to do are fine. But I do like when a game forces you to engage with its with everything,
I might keep that one for myself.
Why make things if you're not going to have the player use it? Now, if only this were the best version of it, if they did that in Fable 2, if Fable 3 had Fable 2's polish, we would all think it's a very great game.
Lovely work.
But it doesn't. That's not the world we live in.
You've not seen anything like it. I sell the best.
Pie making perfection.
Well, like one channel, the channel's ethos that I'm kind of identifying with for this video, where I'm trying to be a little more optimistic, even though I think I'm gonna be a little ruder in the rewrites, is that Mini-Me.
You'll have to pay for that.
Mini-Me, his entire channel is mostly licensed games, but mediocre games that have really interesting ideas that some of them pull off, and others don't. Like the 24
Quality
game,
pie making that.
the TV series 24. That game straight up plays like an episode of 24. It has a bunch of interesting ideas in it that only it doesn't accomplish all of, but still is compelling because of that. And that's kind of what I'm thinking about with Fable 3, is that it's one of those mediocre games that has a lot of interesting ideas that helps it rise above a game that's competent at everything but doesn't have really anything interesting to say. Like a lot of games from the 6th, 7th generation fall into that, where we have mediocre shooters that don't do anything differently, but we also have mediocre shooters that have a gimmick that sets it apart. That still is unique today. Because it wasn't a success, no one copied it.
You handle that dough like an artist.
The game industry tends to run any interesting ideas straight into the ground as soon as one becomes massively successful. And then none of those ripoffs are ever as successful as the first one.
Right there.
We see it with every big success story. Hero shooters, now we have 400 of them and half of them flop. Live service games, we have a few that come through the cracks, but most of them are giant, massive flops. MMOs, if you go even back there were really good MMOs that never were successful.
That crust is divine.
And so because of that, you had a lot of other interesting ideas that don't have the greatest execution to start, end up never getting copied again, because they're like, well, it failed once, it'll never succeed again. But that same logic should apply to, if something succeeds once, doesn't mean it's going to succeed every single time. I get it with live service and MMOs; those are just cash cows. When they do succeed, it's worth the risk. It's worth the risk to try it, but some of these lower budget ideas, give me more gimmick-filled shooters. Oh, I can't buy a business yet. I haven't unlocked that.
Home is where the heart is, as they say. It should...
Bought a home. Looky there. I'm now more successful in Fable 3 than I am in real life. All I have to do is make pies for 3 minutes. You could buy a house.
Looking for something special? Or will it just be the regular stuff?
Okay. Now which quest will I do? I'll do the play. It's fun. Cute. One of the better ideas.
You, good sir. You who live...
You will find the legendary lost play. Splendid.
Finally, tragedy and comedy will come together as they should.
All right. Anyone watched any good movies recently? Just because I'm getting back in the mode of going to the theater and watching stuff. Or
back now,
whatever.
mortal one.
I need some good stories to wash the taste out of my mouth of playing this. But I saw Nora last night. One of the people in the chat knows. But that shit was good. You haven't seen it? Go now. Leave the stream. You have my permission. Go to your local theater.
Stay away.
And see Nora.
Only
It's a great
death
time.
and insanity await you. Don't pick it up. No, really, I'm serious. You lot just can't leave well enough alone, can you? Bloody literary tourists, bane of my afterlife.
You know, I did see that a few years ago, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. But I'm a much different person than I was when it came out.
You're not getting
I
my
might check it
lost
out.
play. You hear?
My tastes have
It's
evolved.
rubbish.
I'm more
than
willing to
rubbish.
be generous
what was
with the things I
thinking,
didn't like
mixing
before.
tragedy and comedy?
Because I remember the trailers looked cool, so I saw it, and then I wasn't really into it. But that was in my
It would seem, my dear fellow, you have
college
been
days
apprehended by the
where
ghost
I was a
of
little
Philip
more of
Morgan.
a
That makes us both
unshakable
his
hater, you know.
I am Ransom Locke. If
My
the
takes are a
name
lot
seems
more.
familiar, it is because I was once a detective of some renown, and yet here
My
I
takes
am,
are a lot more
ready
flexible
to
now.
live
My
out
tastes
the
are-
rest of my days, trapped in a book. As far as I can deduce, we are currently in a scene from one of Morley's greatest romantic plays, the near tragedy
I also,
of
on
Oliver and Ethel.
the other
I
day,
believe if we are
I
to
got drunk
escape,
and
we
watched
must
Look
act out
Back,
the scene.
which is,
But performing is not one of my
it's based off of a
If I
one-shot
am
manga,
correct, putting on
or
this
it's an
costume
adaptation
should
of a
set
one-shot
things in
manga
motion.
that's made by the same guy as Chainsaw Man, but it's about, these two girls that find their friendship. Well, if we're talking about dreams dying, then maybe that's time for me to watch it again. But for Look Back, it's about these two girls that find each other through their love of creating manga, and it's an hour long. It's on Amazon Prime. It's amazing.
my life,
I
my
spent
son,
from
if
the
thou wouldst
first
forgive me one
after
sign,
15
one
minutes in, I
gesture
spent
that would speak of your
the
affections,
alcohol
then
influenced
might I
this, but I was
think this
already a little
grey
sad that
existence
day.
worth
I
living.
sobbed the entire time, just for the next 45 straight minutes. I sobbed. It was so good.
You are
Really
Ethel,
beautiful movie.
the beautiful young daughter of a dung merchant. Show Oliver that you love
Well,
him.
you have me intrigued now. Maybe I'll watch Under the Silver Lake either later today or some point this week when I have time. Because
My heart is yours, my love.
Look Back was the one I watched on Amazon Prime. So
Let the heavens and the seas, the toads and the eels sing
Really
the song
good.
in my heart, for she doth love me, and all is well. We shall meet again in the morrow, my little ferret, and elope into the sunset to live out our days in wondrous joy.
A magnificent rendition. Truly, I applaud you.
I see you are gifted with remarkable literary
it's a movie.
cunning, but can you really
It is also a movie
comprehend
about
the
dreams.
depths of my work? That we shall see.
But what keeps us going in our dreams,
Ah, yes.
Dreams die in that movie. Yeah, dreams die in that movie, and dreams are reborn several times over.
Bloodbath at the royal court.
And so it
this
is both
must be
very
your
sad and very affirming.
The role of the fool
but
is one filled
it's
with
bittersweet. It's
tragic
more
depth.
bittersweet than
It
anything.
will require a masterful performance.
Little chicken soup. The chicken suit is one of the better models in the game. These are actually like pretty high quality textures for the 360.
What fresh insolence is this? Out of my
The clothing in most of this game looks pretty good. It's like they did a lot of jobs doing good models for a lot of details for like clothing. There's a limited amount, so it better be detailed in like, you know, building models and things like that. But like it's like the more you zoom out, the worse these things look. But yeah, I've been trying to watch more and trying to watch more while throwing my phone across the room so that
I believe I'm in the right
that I'm a little less distracted. You know? It's so easy to get distracted. My attention span is pretty shot.
I have never seen a more convincing fool.
So after the election, not to get into that too much, I deleted Twitter just because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. And that has you can look at my like screen time and it's already dropping because I deleted Twitter. That thing is such a time sink.
Oh dear.
I think I have to delete Instagram for a bit too if I want to recapture my attention span a bit more. Or delete it for a little bit and just engage with like the things I'm trying to engage. Spend more time reading, playing games, watching movies, doing the things I want to do that I'm too busy doom scrolling to actively participate in the way that I want.
I must admit. And here is Titus's famous costume. I had some pajamas that looked just like it. Put it on and you will take on the greatest role of your life.
Literally the same costume. Good work, developers. Good work, Lionhead. But I just feel like
Titus, thy pox-membered body.
I'm not blaming my lack of attention span on like any you know, negative feelings I've been having lately, because obviously it's a multitude of issues. One of which being that like I haven't focused enough on making videos. I got so overwhelmed when I was recording my script that I was overwhelmed by the fact that I didn't like it. That I was like, I need to take a little break just to reset and like get myself back in the mode of this is fun again. Because like now that I'm monetized, I do feel a little more pressure to make something good, you know? Like if I'm gonna make money off of it, I want to put my best foot forward. I don't want to just treat it exactly like a hobby. Like I want my videos to be closer to what I imagine, like what I enjoy watching. But spending a lot of time on social media definitely doesn't help my mental health, you know? Doesn't help me be productive. Being productive, being focused on things I enjoy, being a little distracted, it's good. It's better. Like, I've been slacking on movies this year. I make a note to like try to watch all the big, you know, most of the big acclaimed movies every year. And I have barely been to the theater at all this year.
Give as good as you get me.
So I was happy to go see Anora last night, and luckily my new job is right near a movie theater. So after work, I'm gonna just go and watch it. You're doing good. I love YouTube. It's gotten to the point where like social media distracts me from watching YouTube. Like, that's not good. Like, I can't even focus while watching that without pulling out my phone and starting to scroll out of habit. I'm really trying to get better at that because it's just killing me.
My world undone. I can't stand to live 1 second more.
But I want to watch more movies, you know, it's time to get in the mood. Luckily, I live in, you know, the New York metropolitan area.
sacrifice
So
for those
all the
rights,
movies get
new
re-released.
life to
I
my
will have a
life.
chance to
I
see them, even if I
stand
miss
in awe.
most of the good ones. You know, or
You
their initial
have
ones.
earned the
That's the
prize
beautiful
no
thing.
mortal has ever been honored with before. My missing play. I entrust it to you, for I know that you will do it
So that's, you know, I don't feel like I missed out.
I call it the
If I did
Ham
actually miss out, I
Sandwich.
think I would probably be kicking myself. But I don't have to do that. The ham sandwich, there we go. See, that's a nice, enjoyable quest.
Ah, you have retrieved our aged investigator.
Why is there more
Happy
clever and better
day.
writing on the side
Have
quests than there are
the
in most of the main
chance
quests?
Oh, the joy in my bosom knows no bounds. Thank you a million times. Thank you.
His head bosom. It's already working. Comedy and tragedy will at last join.
But I also think I've been trying to force myself, just out of habit, to watch YouTube videos that I'm just not interested in. Because, you know, a lot of my favorite creators aren't always covering things I'm interested in, or
To the tragic futility that
they're not
is
always
man. Oh, how
uploading
it
at a
doth
big
sear
frequency.
my
I watch a lot of, you know,
senses
hour videos, you know, creators that make hour-plus long videos. I mean, Noah Caldwell Gervais, you know, drops every few months. Some of his can get up to like 8 hours. So it's not like I always have compelling things to watch. So that's why I'm trying to watch more movies and play more games and read more, get through my A Song of Ice and Fire, reread.
That reminds me of another one. A corpse walks into a bar and says, "Can I have a lemonade?" "Certainly," replies the bartender. "I've never seen a stiff drink."
And so endeth our happy, sad play,
I
which
just feel like I'm
reminds
just
us we are
being
made
distracted
of
rather than
nothing
like actually
but
like
clay.
fulfilling anything.
It's time only for our fool to say,
Great big giant bosoms.
What the hell was that?
Biggest load of old tosh I ever saw. It didn't even make sense.
Worst play
Fully,
ever.
no, dude, you are so correct. I have been, like, I live with my girlfriend, and we haven't been watching enough shit together.
So, what shall
Because I think a lot of the time I'm in the mood to watch something, you know, moody, dramatic,
I
sad.
rather think not.
After work,
My
she's like,
powers of
"Dude,
reasoning and
I'm just trying to watch like
deduction diminish
a
with
silly
each
horror
passing
movie or a
day.
silly comedy." I'm like, she'll watch all that other stuff with me.
Is a
She enjoys
young
it, but
man's game.
it's not as
How
much
would you
of
like to
what
take
she wants to
active
do after a long day at work.
I would rather consume
So I end up watching
a
stuff by
bottle
myself,
of
you know.
And who
But
could blame you?
I need to just watch things I'm not normally in the mood for. Just, you know, just try stuff. Because when I went to the theater to watch Anora, that was one of the best theater experiences I've had since the pandemic. Like, everyone was behaved. People were laughing. People were engaged with it when it was funny. And then when there were, like, these show-stopping scenes, people were quiet. They were locked in. Yeah, like, for the first time, really felt like the communal experience that I remember. And hearing people and chatting with people as I walked out of the theater, you know, it was a good experience. I hadn't had something like that in a while. I'm usually just like a little on edge, because people won't shut up nowadays. People be on their phones. I went to the theater earlier this year, and someone was on their laptop in front of me, and they got mad at me when I told them, "Yo, put your laptop away. What are you doing?" And they acted like I was the problem. It's like, no, you are using your laptop, bright-ass laptop, during a movie. Why are you here? Why did you pay? But yeah, I do need to go watch movies with friends more. I need to bring them over. I need to make more plans. You know? I just get too exhausted and don't spend enough time. I want to spend like my days off alone, because I just don't get that much of it. But that can't be all of it. Can't be it. I have to do. I have to make more of an effort for my own sake. Push myself outside my comfort zone. But hey, I got a bunch of concerts coming up, so I'm super excited. Those are the best communal experiences. Let's be real. What else do I have to do? I need 7 more guild seals. Okay. Just tap. I have been playing more online games, and I haven't really been a big multiplayer gamer since high school, really. And, you know, I graduated in 2016, so it's been a while. I've been playing more Fortnite, you know, Helldivers. They've been playing COD. I haven't really played that yet, even though it's on Game Pass. I have been just trying to participate more, because I think, you know, like a lot of people, that pandemic era really caused a shutdown, you know, both physically and like mentally. That happened right after I graduated college, so it was like straight up like, it wasn't just a like figurative lockdown. Like all my friends moved away at once, so suddenly I was like, I had to face the fact that like that my whole world was, you know, changing very rapidly, all at once, with the fact that like my opportunities to you know, make more friends, go out, completely shuttered all at the same time. It was a big adjustment. You graduated high school? Wow, you're older than my brother. He was a class of 08. I'm the youngest person at my new job, which is a relief because I'm pretty old for my grade. I wasn't held back, but I'm the same age as people that graduated in 2015. More so than people that graduated in 2016. So it's a relief to be like the youngest person, but it is nice to be at this point in life where I have way more in common with like 30 and 40-year-olds than I do with 20-year-olds. That it actually legitimately feels great. Like you know, my priorities are shifting towards that. You got a root canal and avocado, hell yeah. 36? Yeah, so I'm 27. So, you know, when I was 20, 36 seemed like the end of the world. Like, now that I'm 27, I'm like, 36? Ah, that sounds pretty, like, that's pretty good. That's pretty young. I'll be there at one point. Obviously, when I'm 36, I'll probably be having an existential crisis. A little bit of one. But every year on my birthday, I'm like, oh my god, I'm 27. Oh my goodness. Where have all of the years gone by? And then, you know, a couple months in, I'm like, I still got it. I'm still young. My friend Evan here, he's young for a grade. Yeah, literally, we're all big kids here. And I think it's important to stay a little bit of a kid. You need that curiosity. You can't become a man or woman of stone, you know?
Otherwise, if you lose your fortune and end up next to me.
There are some behaviors like that my co-workers with kids exhibit that I'm like are far more childish than mine, and it's such a relief. It is legitimately a relief to see people just like being more loose than I am. I'm like, okay, that's an example I should, you know, follow. Yeah. What quests are there? Oh, is there there's the, I want a chicken chase, bro. Been enough chicken chasing for a lifetime. Guess I'll do the gnome. We'll start the gnome. You know, like, I grew up watching all these, like, retro YouTubers, because that was where content was at when I was a kid, you know. I grew up when I started watching, you know, online video game content in 2006, and everything was about retro games.
Like I said, it's very special.
I always hated collectathons. I always hated collecting games. And that's what, like, so much of, like, the nostalgia of the games that those people were nostalgic for because they grew up in the 90s. That I was like, I don't get this.
It's a good place to start looking
around. You don't even make this sound that fun. Like, like, I can't think of a more annoying type of game to play than, like, a Banjo-Kazooie Donkey Kong 64 type game. I don't care how charming it is. I don't want the point of the game to be just, you know, collecting things. But I'm also very much a narrative-focused game. Why multiplayer is only as fun as the people I'm playing with. Play it by myself. The games that inspired me were like Knights of the Old Republic when I had it on the Xbox, original Xbox, or Fable, or you know, things that even if they weren't the greatest stories, Knights of the Old Republic is are, but
a little something.
There you go. I'd rather do that one. Like, I would much rather play a mediocre narrative game than like
You've got to help me.
a game whose point
Thank
is
you
barely
so much.
narrative at all. Where
Please
the
bring her
narrative
back
is
safe and sound as
superfluous.
soon as you can.
Like, it's why I could put 40 hours in something like Mass Effect Andromeda, even though that's... Every piece of writing is terrible. Wow. Yeah, I was a straight-up child. I mean, for KOTOR, I was like... It came out like 03, 04. I was like 7. I was very much a baby. But that introduced me to, you know... Those are good games to play when you're little. When I was in high school, what was the big year? I mean, there was Witcher 3 came out my senior year. That was huge. I remember that so fondly. I mean, Mass Effect was huge for me in middle and high school. Because I didn't get a 360 until 2010. My dad refused to buy me one. He was like, you need another console like you need a hole in your brain. He was afraid I was becoming like an antisocial loser. Which, you know... Like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, I had friends that entire time. I'm still friends with these people. I play games with the same people I did back then, today. Like, I will probably, when they get out of work, I will probably be playing with this dude. But, you know, I digressed on that, but I always thought that was funny. That was just, like, the form of media I was engaging with that connected with people was, like, why he thought I was a loser. Like, that's not it. But when I got it in 2010, finally, when I finally relented for Christmas, the first game I got was Mass Effect because I was such a huge BioWare fan. And I had always wanted that. And that changed. I put in like 60 hours over that Christmas break. So fast. I beat that game so fast. And so I played 2 right after because that was more of a recent release at that point. And then I was so excited for it. And so that was like the big like life-changing game at that point for me. And then when I went to college, I just didn't play a lot of I didn't end up playing a lot of games as much as I wanted. I focused on school, social, having a social life, and smoking pot. Those were the 3 things I focused on. So I didn't end up picking games back up properly until... Wow, you've never played Mass Effect? Yeah, do it. They hold up. The collection is good too. Because 2 and 3 still feel great to play, gameplay-wise. 1 was clunky, and the re-release helped clean it up visually and made it a little less clunky, especially like the vehicle sections.
Help me! Help! There's so many of them, and they're so scary. Please take me back to Mummy.
I got you. But yeah, those games are still good. I do a replay every couple years of the whole trilogy all at once. And I did, because I also didn't, I say I was a huge BioWare fan, and I didn't even play Dragon Age until 2022. Winter 2022, I was on break from working on, doing Law and Order. And I had all this time, and so I was like, well, I want to play a BioWare game, but I don't want to play...
Who broke the string on my bow? Is that supposed to be funny? Oh, you scared me,
Alright, where the fuck is this other wolf? It's preventing me from continuing the quest. Where are you?
That looks really dangerous. Do you use it on monsters? It's alright.
Oh yeah, but I didn't play Dragon Age till then, and I got captivated by that. It was exactly what I wanted, you know. That's why I didn't play it, because, you know, there's only so many games that I feel like are gonna, like, really captivate me from day one. Like, the BioWare style RPGs, you know, it's always gonna be fun to me in a way that and nostalgic for me, even when it's not at its best. Right, please let me hold the hand. So I saved it, and man was I glad I played it, because all three of them were so... I mean, you know, they all have their flaws. The first one is obviously the best, because it's just... It was very familiar. It felt like playing KOTOR again. Same type of combat, same type of D&D rule sets. But even 2 and 3, it's just the companion writing that really sets it apart. It really feels like you are going on quests with, like, you know, like, you're really... Some of the best character writing in all of media comes from BioWare. So that's always going to just, you know, be something I enjoy in a way that I'm not going to get all the time, because they're just not making that style of game. Which is why I'm happy that Veilguard has had some sort of success. Contrary to what, you know, the culture war tourists will say, there is people I know who actually play games and don't just talk about playing games or talk about games on the internet rather than playing them, are having fun. And they all recognize the same flaws I do. I'm glad we get another Mass Effect, and BioWare is at least, you know, obviously we're never going to get Prime BioWare again, but it's not over. Because it was over after it. It felt over. I wished I liked Cyberpunk as much as everyone seems to. I played it on release, and it was fun, but as time went on, as like I got further away from playing it, the more I just was like kind of annoyed with the maybe this is the contrary to me, the reappraisal being so positive, because I'm like, the fundamental flaws that existed there haven't really been fixed. The story is still not great, you know? The side quests are still not great. A lot of the combat still is not great. It's just good. It's competent. So I feel like I had a whiplash between when it first came out and I beat it. And I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Much better than what people were saying. And
well done. You have gathered quite an impressive following in Brightwall. This should be more than enough to convince this little hamlet to send aid to the
and then I had to whiplash back to like, okay guys, it's better than you all thought, but it's not that good. It's not a masterpiece. It's not even... Like, what are we doing here? Silksong, okay. You know, if it makes you feel any better, Evan, Silksong is in development, you know. It's coming out, they just, they're doing a bad job of setting expectations. They really shouldn't keep announcing that it's coming out this year when they're not sure, you know? Because that's more of the problem.
If things get any worse,
A high-budget Shadowrun game would be so much better. But like, if I got a Dragon Age direct sequel to Inquisition after, Inquisition coming out in 2014, you'll get Silksong. They're never going to cancel Silksong. Because Hollow Knight was such a success. After I beat Dragon Age, I'm going to play the Life is Strange, the new Life is Strange. That's my next thing. Outside of the games I play in the videos. And then I'm gonna play. I'm gonna finally beat Death Stranding. After years of starting playthroughs that I end up getting halfway through and then moving on to something else.
The courage and determination of one man, the son of the old hero king. From this day, we shall know you as the hero of Brightwall. Before you leave, we ask of you one favor.
Make my promise.
As we pledge ourselves to you,
but
so we hope you
there's a lot of things I'm looking forward to. I feel like it's been a pretty good year for just, you know, movies, games in general. At least for things that I enjoy. Music especially too. A lot of good music this year. A lot of things I didn't think would come out have come out.
Nothing less from you. These volunteers,
and I still haven't gotten to everything. Like, I still haven't played Baldur's Gate 3. I want to do that.
With our blessing. I hope
that's been my problem.
Return one day, not just as our hero, but as our king.
Luckily, my new job gives me a very generous amount of vacation time starting next year. So I'm kind of thinking of setting aside, because for Baldur's Gate 3, I didn't want to play it until I had like a few days to spend really delving into it and getting into it, because it's such a large game. That it's not something, I don't do well with huge games like that when I only have like an hour or two a day to really spend getting into it. I need to kind of like let the narrative hook itself into me before I can really start doing like shorter sessions like that and, you know, staying motivated. So I want to have like take like a 3-day weekend, like take like a long weekend just to play like 20 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. Because I know once I'm into it, it's gonna fucking consume my life. When I need to do that, I always buy my girlfriend a game on our Switch or for her computer, so that we're both kept busy. Because there's nothing worse than just like, you know, feeling guilty because you've left the person you live with hanging. Let's see. Where am I headed to? I'm gonna fast travel.
You have done a wonderful thing for those.
Yes, I have. Other. Here we go. One property at a time. Look at that rent. 37 gold. I'm swimming in it. Let's see. I'm curious to see. My analytics for my videos have like pretty much stayed pretty consistent. Like, I haven't had a major drop off. You know, I have like the drop offs after the video comes out, but I always like looking at the analytics to see like what my audience is. And my audience really falls into the 25 to 44 range because I talk about games that are, you know, half the games I've done videos on are 20 years old. So of course, I'm gonna get people that only remember that. Like, I have no, like, over the last 28 days, I have no one over the age of 44, no one under 25 watching my videos.
Promise to restore these mountains to their full glory and to protect our right to dwell in them, and promise you will bring nothing but the fiercest justice upon Logan's head.
I promise.
Then may we be carried into the castle by the dark storms of fury!
We'll have to wait a little longer for that. It's still just us against a whole army. We need to recruit more people.
I was afraid you'd come over all logical and sensible. Well, you have brought us a feast, and we are free to hunt again.
Hey, I need to change this
We'll
bit.
just keep on eating and drinking till you're good and ready. Right, Border? He couldn't be happier.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty. Nice. Oh my goodness. Yes, yes, I'll go to your little... They really make everything obnoxious in this game. Unlocking things, obnoxious. Going fast traveling, obnoxious. Changing your outfit,
made an important
obnoxious.
ally today. The revolution cannot hope to succeed without fighters such as Sabine and his people on your side. You have the beginnings of an army now.
Okay, let's see. I buy no. Then I will get magic. I want to do more magic. This is a good way to spend my money. Because I was gonna play Fable 3 no matter what, but having even just one person to chat with while doing it makes this so much less obnoxious. Let's see. And become their joke. Let me buy property. No, can't do that yet. Let me upgrade Pie Maker so I can make some more money. I think I'll do that. Maybe do one more quest. Here we go. And then, after I'm done with this, I'm going to ingest some edibles and play Dragon Age. But I've been slacking on doing this. I meant to have this playthrough done last week.
What can I do for you then?
And I just did not, was not in the mood for it.
I placed the...
Alright, let's go here. Let's go make some pies. Buy some property so I can get started on making money the rest of this playthrough.
Let me know if you have trouble finding anything.
Best establishment in
Spend
Brightwall.
gold on jewellery.
Spend for the love of all you hold sacred.
Oh, we've got all sorts we have.
I had to do so much tinkering in OBS to get it to let me stream while recording only the gameplay. I kept the mic audio in it too, just because, you know, I feel like in a lot of videos I watch, they're streaming while playing the gameplay too, or playing the game too, so, you know, just in case any reactions are actually good. Most of the cutscenes made it through. I had, the problem is I was using a different software plugin that I didn't know was on trial. And so every time it recorded the audio for later in the game, you would just hear it say like trial every 5 seconds. So it just made that audio useless. And then the video, I don't know what happened when it encoded, but it was just like choppy and like blurry. I'm like, I can't use like a good chunk of this, especially for the beginning stages.
Only time will tell.
Which was very demoralizing. I've already started editing some of the things I know I was going to keep. Makes me feel a little better that I already have some progress I don't have to. But when I started editing, I was just like, wow, this gameplay footage is garbage. Oops. And I can't, it's not like, when that would happen in Fable 1 and like Black and White 2, and I would just be able to revert to an older save to, you know, because I save pretty frequently for that reason when I'm making videos.
Wonderful dough work.
So that I can go back and, you know, if I miss something or I mess something up, I can just go back and recapture.
You handle that dough
Real
like
quick,
an artist.
15 minutes in and out. But these save systems don't allow you that. They hate you. They don't want you to save scum. I need to save scum for my very specific purpose.
Sell the best items in all Brightwall.
Pie mastery, right there.
So, get like 20k.
Oh, that's a good pie.
It is a good pie. Then I'll change my outfit. Maybe get married.
Might give that one to the dog. Clean it up then.
Fuck off.
You're a whiz with a rolling pin. Smells delicious. That'll fetch a good price.
Always look out for
Thanks, Evan.
sales. You never know when I'll put one.
Okay.
Have you done this before?
If you find we're out of stock on anything, try again a few days later.
There we go. My audio cuts out.
Sublime. That's some tasty.
For a while there, I was only working like 3 days a week. I was still getting my hours. I would just work long shifts. So having 4 days off was great for this. So it's been 2 days just working on videos in the mornings, you know, like from like 9 to like, you know, 4 o'clock or whatever. And now that I'm back to working 5 days a week, I'm like not adjusting well to like staying on top of like this.
Sublime.
But it's not as bad of an adjustment to like living. Like I thought I was gonna be like miserable after that,
Ooh,
but
that's a good pie.
That's not the case. My goal though is to get into a line of work that gets me work from home. Lets me work from home. That's why I'm going back to college. So trying to balance college, job, and this might be a little tough, but I've already started planning some, you know. I've already outlined the next few videos, other than the Fable the Journey one, so I can take that aspect out of it.
Best establishments in Brightwall.
Pie of the decade? Only time will tell.
I really wanted to do this video on like games inspired by Twin Peaks.
Great pie.
And I've had that outline for a while and what games I'm gonna cover, but it's so ambitious what I want to do, and it's like if I make it and it's not the way I imagine it, I'm gonna be real mad at myself.
Pie making perfection.
yeah. I live like in Jersey City, right near NYC. Arkansas is crazy though. How is that right now? I think I'll do well. It's an online college too, so it's like it lets me work at my own pace, you know, which is great for having a 40-hour-a-week job. But I already am like been a tech dweeb and like I'm going back for IT. When I originally switched from being a music major, I was originally going to think about doing IT, but my school had stopped offering that type of major just the year before, so I went with TV production, which is also something I was interested in. But the realities of that in the streaming age are just very different from what it was before. And, you know, one of my coworkers at my new job actually says that his family runs like a production house and like does look for some help. So I'll probably do a little bit of that on the side too.
Might have that to put
And
tonight.
maybe Evan, this for you. He said that I can totally send it to friends too. If I have anything. So if he has anything.
New to these parts, eh? I hope you enjoy your stay.
But like that's not something I want to do for career. I don't want to be a union, you know, in the directors union, grinding for the rest of my life. Yeah, that makes sense. I have a lot of friends that, you know, I know a lot of friends, online friends from Sixers Twitter. So I have a lot of friends in Philly. And like, the housing situation there, like the prices are so crazy cheap for, you know, like a major city.
I contributed a whole basket of bread to this dinner class.
That I'm always like, wait. Of course, their minimum wage is also still federal, so it's also the pay is also terrible. But A lot of them work pretty good jobs and like pay like half the rent I do in Jersey City.
Wonderful dough work.
One day, the people of Albion are going to stand up to King Logan.
That'll fetch a good price.
That's a good price.
That's one hell of a pie. Pie making perfection.
Yeah, I got you, Evan.
You have to pay for
My
that.
ears are always open. I'm not doing 20k worth already. Still can't buy businesses. Deal. I'm gonna buy that one to go get buried. How much does repairing raise the rent? 1 cent, so I'm not doing that. Oh, I'll wait till the last second. Not for sale.
There are still some chickens at large in Brightwall, I understand.
Yes, I'm not trying to do chicken shit, brother. Want to. Don't want it. I don't want it. There you go. Alright, let's see. Let's go. I didn't get enough wooing footage because I, you know, got the girlfriend or boyfriend request. Let's see. For you. I'll marry the stall vendor.
A reliable way to gather a few followers is by simply interacting with people. Try it. I'm sure you'll make an impression.
Now what do you want? Ooh.
Congratulations! Getting out among the people has paid off.
Put me down!
Remember that interacting with the citizens of Albion is generally a reliable way to gain followers.
The interacting with villagers in this game is just so stupid. I have no idea why they just removed all choice from what you can do.
Hand, and we can be pals. I've got a friend who needs something from me. Will you take it to them? That's great. Come and see me when you finish the job. Bit of a shortage going on in some of the local shops.
The hand holding is so stupid. Like, functionally, as a gimmick, like, they put it on the back of the box. That's how lacking in new gimmick features that they put, like, a system that is straight up the same as the follow system from the previous game, but they made it hand holding. They made it more obnoxious, so you can do less with it. I don't know, man. That's one of the biggest makes no sense to me. Like, it's just hand holding. It makes things more complicated. Yeah, it's worse than the follow system. But like in practice, like what does it add? It doesn't change that really. It just makes it worse. And they act like it's a new.
Brilliant.
They called it dynamic
I've been
touch.
waiting
That
for
was
this
the.
for ages. Thank you.
That was the marketing speak.
Farmer's beside himself with worry.
What's dynamic about it? Nothing. Nothing is dynamic. You can't choose which expressions you want to do anymore.
Welcome to...
Unlike Fable 2, the world isn't even like pretty enough or like feel wide open enough to feel like navigating to be worth exploring. Like the Bower Lake area of Fable 2 is legitimately like a pretty Or just pretty open area.
Can I be of service?
And there's really nothing like
Best
that
products
here.
in Brightwell.
Let me buy your unwanted items.
Got a question,
You
or
know, it's still
maybe
video,
you're just
but-
browsing?
You done it! Great! You've done it now, ain't you? We're gonna have to be friends from now on!
Congratulations, you've made a friend. In addition to being jolly good company, friends can give each other gifts and even discounts at shops that they own.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
And like removing the personality traits from the you know the NPCs.
1, 2, 3.
You know, it loses a lot of the charm, even though like in practice that wasn't that big of a.
Hey! Oh. Yeah.
God, why are they moaning so hard?
Absolutely brilliant! Do
Dave?
something for me, and I'm yours. Can't wait! I love a good old-fashioned date. I thought you were gonna hold my hand.
Always ready to follow you.
I can't believe I sent like my girlfriend to her death at the beginning of the game. It's so funny. And then I'm like, alright, time to go marry random villagers. The whole, you know, little mini quest thing, it is pretty good addition. That, you know,
Last night, this frog ran
for
up to me and
relationships
touched me
and
leg.
dating.
Horrible, horrible nightmare.
That I do like in concept. Of course, it's not good in as good in practice as it is in theory.
Great place, this.
Yeah. The first time I played with the man, and it's like I don't quite understand why.
Good day.
The writing is just
Really enjoyed
so
yourself. Thanks.
interesting. The writing is just so bad.
That's it. I'm in love with you.
Yep, let's go.
Well, you've done it. They've fallen in love with you. If you're ready to take your relationship to the next level, you can get married and perhaps even think about having children.
One man's trash is another man's treasure.
I love you. Marry me.
You can count on me, that's for sure. I can't take your proposal seriously until you've got a ring. Ah,
I thought I had one.
that's
Let me get
it.
one.
Oh. Oh.
Let me get a ring. Yeah, she does, or he does, you know, depending on which character you play. But at least, you know, it's like a nice guy who runs, like, you know, who does good things, so. Look, in the first two games, Evan, you could literally just,
If I can be of any help, let me know.
Right, thanks.
These come shapes and sizes.
you could straight up just, hey, flirt your way just
You
straight
been to the
into
little
marriage
sale
and
close
children.
by?
Or, not children, the first one.
Spare any food for the dwellers?
I don't think I should take my time? No, bro, because they aren't real. I need to have kids now! But I wish I could just open a map and get straight to the menu of where I am, you know? House. No life. I was in the right area.
If you're not too...
I'm going! Look! I'm going!
Anything is much appreciated.
coop area. Exactly. There are games that have attempted like the classic Peter optimistic proposal of like, ooh, when you die, you get to play as your kids. Like Mountain Blade 2 does a good job, or not a good job, but like does an attempt at that.
Don't just buy from anyone. Buy from me.
And like that's why I'll always like kind of appreciate it, is that there's these attempts at these super ambitious features, but there's just too many ambitious features to attempt. But it's cool to see, like, you know, independent developers attempt all these things.
I sell the best items in all Brightwall.
Who you know? Dog training. Nice.
There's a small set.
Oh, prices are quite good. Wouldn't stay in business if they weren't. I sell the best stuff in Brightwall.
Do you now, bro? Got like 3 phone calls at once.
Yes, me again. I do like a bit of shopping.
Best establishment in Brightwall.
Exciting as you are. I reckon this place moves pretty slow compared to what you're used to. Everything you could possibly need and much more, right here.
There's like one spot that always has a ring. Remember, no, it's not the gnome area. Every time you dive into it, there's a ring. Right. Right.
I'm happy to call you a friend.
Oh yeah, we're friends, bro. Nice.
Finally, a little money coming into this town. A little's even coming through my door.
What'll it be today?
Potatoes, sell them somewhere else.
There's some geezer called Brian, lives in Brightwall, got a big collection of gnomes. He's convinced he can bring them all to life, too. Away, go, now. Hey! Sail! Sail! My customers have been good to me, so I'm good to them.
Always look out for sales. You never know when
I think in my first playthrough I didn't spend enough time just wandering doing this shit.
Must
So,
be nice
that's
to
a good
afford
time
a
to
house
just-
to rent out.
Yeah, it is nice. Maybe you should stop being a brokey and go make pies for like 20 minutes. Be able to buy all the houses in town. That's what these NPCs don't realize. Hey gamers. If you can't even steal money out of the
Spending
register
your money
anymore.
helps the economy, you know. And me.
What will it be? Hope you enjoy it. Come back anytime. Come back anytime.
What happens if you're battling your way through a dungeon or a tomb?
Do you have anything I can buy off you?
Have the party of your life with our finest drinkables.
Let's see. Alrighty.
Closing time for all stalls.
You get drunk. Yeah. It was. But at least like you could sneak, and yeah, there's an attempt at like a sneaking system that they only try to use in that bandit camp quest, and it doesn't work at all. Like you just get caught, you just gotta hide in one corner and like because they're just gonna find you.
Just so you know.
That one's so easy to cheese. But like the wonkiness of Fable 2 is, you know, I mean, of Fable 1 is kind of the appeal. Because it's wonky in a way where it all kind of works, but not quite.
Really good on you.
And there's like a cool, interesting world there. The story is like the most competent, I'd say.
You've seen the massive sale they're having close by. I'm getting all my gold.
Man, my Xbox right at my foot. It's like the perfect foot. The perfect foot warmer, if I'm being honest.
So, you're new to these parts, eh? I hope you enjoy your stay.
Alright, which is my one? Which is what's the one I'm not renting out? It's this one, right? Go there and sleep through it.
Renting out a house you own is a fantastic way to make money. Real estate is always in demand.
And a nice little place. The genius house builders who build a house where the only way to get upstairs is through leaving outside the open street through a separate door. No stairs inside. Masterful. But the music is so pleasant.
It feels good to know the dwellers will survive thanks to us. What's your pleasure?
Nice to see you.
Pleasure
How's it
dealing
going then?
with
All right. How am I supposed to learn ethics and aesthetics with the academy closed?
Oh, what a horrible tattoo. If I can be of any help, let me know.
Everyone's so rude.
All right, thanks.
Pleasure doing business with you. Best establishment in Brightwall.
I'm just asking for one coin. Wonder what it will be.
I know this fellow in Brightwall, Brian, who's convinced he can make his garden gnomes talk.
Of course he is. For him. Let him cook. Let him have his little gnome life, you know? They're all evil.
Grease 1 large round cake pan. Combine flour, eggs, butter, sugar and salt in a large mixing bowl. Beat thoroughly.
The fact that they just made it so only the items on the shelves are what's available at the shop is so stupid.
This activity is, in fact, perfectly safe. And most appropriate for right before your mum
I
discovers
can't believe
you've done any of
the
other
biggest
things
mantra of this
described in
game
my
is that menus are bad.
We had a couple of rough patches, but at the moment we're doing okay. We've reduced the price on
50%
that.
off wedding.
Remember, no refunds. Need a ring. Fancy a necklace. Then see me.
Go see the girlfriend. Marry her.
Right when you like. It's all so disturbing.
Drink something healthy for a change. I'm just honoured.
Hey.
Oh. Oh.
Hmm.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah!
Oh. Ah. I have something I want to ask. Will you marry me? I'm so happy.
Go, you did it.
Try our packed lunches. That's it.
Buy a home for your family. Choose where you would like to have your wedding ceremony. Oh, this is exciting.
Oh, right. Right. Good.
I now pronounce you husband and wife.
We're married! Isn't it great? Hi. Good to see you.
You're sure to find something
romantic,
special
my
for
love.
that someone
I do love to
special.
hold your hand.
Alrighty.
Glad to see you finally got rid of that headache, dear. I think we're ready for our love to get physical.
Yes! Yes! Oh, yeah!
Gosh, you're so nimble.
No, the levels are off in this game. They're also pretty off in the first one too, and at some points in 2 as well. I don't know.
I'm pregnant.
There you go.
I want you. I want you now.
It's I guess because they also had Russell Shaw not only composing but doing the sound as well, and I just wonder if that. I wonder if that overtasked was a bit of overtasking, you know, for the audio levels to be perfect. And also it tries a little too hard to do directional audio, which doesn't always sound right. Hello, baby.
Just say the word.
What's the name? Enter a new name. We'll name after Killian Murphy. There you go.
I'm yours. sweet.
Yeah, 7? Alright, deal.
Did you hear? Looks like we might get our academy back one day after all.
Yeah, I know. Good call. Even a youngin' like me watched Seinfeld.
Yeah.
There you go, that was easy.
That was lovely.
Oh, time to leave you alone for a while. Alright.
Greetings, citizen. I hope you'll be obeying the law.
No. Harley the guard.
He is such a nice person.
Alright. Well, I think
Welcome
here...
to the sanctuary.
Let me open this up. Yeah, exactly. I mean... None of the people, no one who worked on Seinfeld in a major capacity has ever had to work again because of the fact that the reruns are in perpetuity. There's got to be the best residuals in the world, especially since residuals were worth more back then than they are currently. Streaming has killed. Streaming has been a giant loophole for paying residuals. For peeps. Yeah, but on that note, I'm going to make a bunch of phone calls. Because keep getting texts, all my bills are coming through, and they are the wrong amounts. So I'm going to peace out. It was fun to hang with you. I'm gonna try to stream more often though, because it is fun on my days off. It's a good way to play the games I'm not super motivated to play. So, but thanks for hanging out. This was legitimately fun, and it has made my day so much better.
So, you're a parent now?
I messed that up.
Fantastic! You're an honest one. I can tell.
Yeah, of course.